Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another movie talk with me, Joe Mayo, and Tom Hunyadi, and Tim Allen. And here we are again. Since we only have like one person, I don't know if I should say this yet, but we on the playback, you'll find out then. We try to be here every Thursday night. Usually, we're here at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Today, we're here 6 o'clock. We got to start a half hour later, but around 5:30, usually we'll be here. So I see we got James already was waiting.
Hello, James.
Hello, James.
Hey,
So let's talk about the weather. So how's the weather with everybody? We've had nice weather here.
fantastic! I was cutting the lawn in shorts yesterday. It was fantastic.
That's the way I like it. Well, not the shorts, but the warm weather. You know, that's my kind of weather. So Tom, you said that you were at the movies, and
Yeah,
then you said you're going to go to another movie, right?
yeah. I caught a special screening with a friend that invited me to go with him. It was a movie called A Real Pain. That's with Jesse Eisenberg and then one of the Culkin brothers. I keep forgetting his name, but it's really good,
Macaulay.
really funny. What's that? No, it's not
Macaulay.
Macaulay.
Like
But
Culkin is the right one.
it's one of his younger brothers.
Uh,
But yeah, it was good. I want to see it again next week. Really enjoyed it. And then later, I'm going to see this movie, the new movie with Cillian Murphy called Small Things Like These, which opens tomorrow. But a lot of theaters nowadays will start showing special fan screenings on Thursday evenings of
mhm.
movies that officially open on Friday. So I'm gonna go tonight to see
Oh,
this movie as well. So it's a good double. Hopefully it's gonna be a good double feature today, and looking forward to it.
hi, Mike. I'll bet it is sunny there. Uh, you enjoyed, hey, David, by the way. Hello. You enjoyed watching the movie Reagan. I did not see it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was just the greatest hits, and I saw it at the theater. I talked about it here
yeah,
when I
yeah.
did see it,
I remember you
and I
saying something
felt it
like
was
that.
just
It
the
was like
greatest hits. Yeah,
going through all the usual tick off all the
yeah,
boxes kind of thing.
right.
Hey, David. Thank you so much, David, for a
Hey,
super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Hi, James. Good evening to you. Hello. Cherry Carter. Hello. What's going
hello,
on?
hello.
Hello.
And hello, Robbie. Robbie Detroit's vinyl. And we're
Hmm.
off to the races here. We're
Hello.
starting. People are here. All right. Oh, the latest Stuck Inside These Four Walls was great. I nitpick calling it Stuck Inside These Four Walls, but hey, it was a
Yeah,
reunion. It was a
it
reunion
was a reunion.
with a pretty interesting looking thumbnail
Yeah.
picture. So, all right. Do you want to start telling us a little bit about your experience, what you've seen, Tom, or you want to wait a bit? We can talk about other
Oh,
things.
no, I mean, yeah, I saw the one movie today and then another movie later today. I did get in the mail a movie that I really, really recommend called Strange Darling. I did
Who's
see
that?
this last month. It came out in September. It's a really psychotic thriller. It's a lot of action and a lot of good action, a lot of blood here. There is a twist towards the end of the movie. It's a really good, under 2 hours, original film that unfortunately nobody went to go see. But I thought it was fantastic. And I did rewatch the two horror movies that I really did like from this year, and one was Late Night with the Devil, which I think is great little uh, horror-ish film, if you will, and then Long Legs with Nicolas
Yeah,
Cage. I thought this was really good as well.
I have to
So
see it because you recommended it,
mm,
right? I think I
yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
I recommend both. Yeah, but Long Legs is more in the vein of like Seven and Silence of the Lambs. Not that I'm comparing them to them, I'm just saying it's it's like a detective movie with some kind of with a little bit of horror aspects uh, to
Mhm.
it, like those other movies. So,
Robbie, thank you so much for your contribution. Where have I been? Yeah, I haven't made. You know what? I haven't didn't make a video in 10 days, but I have a new video up now on my Mean Mr. Mayo channel. I'm talking about. I get the channels mixed up. My main channel, Mean Mr. Mayo. I have a new video up over there, and I'm going to be doing these shows here on Thursday, the movie show here on the movie channel, Mr. CineMayo. And then tomorrow morning, if you're available, tune in because I'm going to be back with Danny. Danny and I are going to try to do Friday mornings on the other channel. I know I've been switching the channels back and forth. We're going to be back at Mean Mr. Mayo on Thursday mornings doing the Joe and Danny show. So check out over there. All right. All right. Anything else, Tom, that you have to talk about?
this week, no, it's just those films, and yeah, I'm sure I'll have more to talk about next week.
Hello, Darren. How many copies you buying? Hello, Cherry. Oh, I said hello, Cherry. I'm sorry. Oh, we saw that Tom late night with the devil.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right. And before I get to Tim, um, I've never seen that Dunwich Horror. I mean, I've heard. I know it's so common the title, but I never got to it.
Mm,
Don't think I did.
I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write it
I
down
don't
and
think
see if I
we
can
have
find it.
either, but I may have, but I don't think so.
So, Tim, fill us in. Have you seen anything? Did you acquire anything?
I've just got one movie that I did watch, and I've seen a few. I picked this up and I watched it, and I was very impressed. Sink the
Hmm.
Bismarck. This is a British World War II film, and it is so much different than World War II films. There's no larger than life hero. There's no John Wayne type guy or anything like that. In fact, this guy
Looks like Milton
here
Berle.
Mhm.
is the hero, and you don't even like him. I mean,
Uh,
it's pretty it's pretty
so he's
interesting.
playing
I
a
mean, it's based
he's
on
playing a
the actual event.
so he's playing a Gene Hackman type, right? The kind you don't like.
Well, no,
Hey,
he's very,
Gene
very
Hackman is becoming the
military.
new thing every
He's
week.
he's very, very by the book, and these people are very.
Mm,
That he comes into his first day of command, and they're very, very not by the book. And they've got
mhm.
one job, and that's to sink the most powerful boat on the water, and that is Germany's new Bismarck. And he actually gets it done. And it's based on a true story, and it was just really good compared to like I said, an American movie. It's much more realistic than I've ever seen an American World War II movie ever. It's 1960 or 61, something like that, and it's a really good movie, and I recommend it if anybody ever comes across it or anything. Really good World
All
War
right.
II. Also, it's Noir November.
Oh, yeah.
So I've watched a few film noirs. I watched Seance on a Wet Afternoon, which was another great movie from about the same year, about 60-ish. And another British film, I forget why can't I think of his name? Attenborough. What's his first name?
Richard.
Yeah, Richard Attenborough. He starred in it and directed it, and very good. There's a little bit of horror kind of stuff going on, but it's not a horror film. It's a film noir,
Mm,
and it's about a kidnapping, and the wife and a husband, and they kidnap this rich girl, and it things go wrong, but you don't know for sure whether they're purposely going wrong, and she's a psychic, and you don't know if she's actually a psychic or not. It turns out maybe she is.
Sounds
It was
familiar.
a very interesting, well done movie.
She is.
Again, the British. have a way with not, with making it real and making it believable. Very good movie anyway.
Mhm.
Um, and I also watched The Black Room. Do you know The Black Room, Joe?
Karloff, one of his best dual roles. I
Yes, this is a Boris Karloff film. Not really noir, but a little bit noirish, a little bit, a little bit noirish, and just yeah, he's the reason to watch the film.
it's
Hmm.
very
Period. Period.
very in the style of the Universal films. It's
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
Universal movie.
and the style of a Universal horror film, but yet it's not really a horror film. It's a
Yeah,
noir in a way. You've got
it's a
some of the
melodrama.
elements. Yeah. You've got some of the elements, and then I watched what was this called? What year were you born? Which is a movie I don't recommend unless you really want to see an anime Wong movie. I watched it because it was an anime Wong movie. It's only an hour
Hmm.
long. That's the good thing, and it's 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 supposed to be a film noir, but it's not really. It's a police procedural where the whole case is solved by the Zodiac. I mean, it's sort of a ridiculous film, and Anime Wong
Hmm.
plays this character who just lives every moment of her life by the Zodiac and can tell anything about anybody just by knowing their birthday, and it's kind of silly, but it was okay. And I just I'll do that one last. I just finished watching I just finished watching it. No, I won't be able to Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye with James
Oh
Cagney.
yeah, I have seen that
And
one.
I think this might be Cagney at his meanest. I
Really?
always
Hmm.
thought, his movies from the 30s, maybe, because this one's a little later than that. He is not a
Right.
pleasant fellow. But good movie. Not his best, but very. I mean, very. You just don't like. What's this guy gonna do next?
Hmm.
he's just such a, a not nice person. So recommend that too. Just saw that. And last night I was bored. I didn't have anything to do. It was like 1:30 in the morning and I was still up and wide awake. So I went on Tubi and I watched Wonderwall.
No, really.
Oh,
I've never seen it.
I know you guys should both see Wonderwall just because it's just
I own it.
okay. It's
I own
just
it. Yeah, I've seen
uh,
it. Yeah.
it's not. I don't even know if I'd call it good. I call it recommendable because of the George music, and you get to see Jane Birkin a lot, and I mean,
Right.
then those are the two reasons. But it's a very odd, sort of stylized '60s film.
Right.
And I don't want
You
to
know,
say too much about it, but go
yeah,
ahead, Tom.
I'm glad you brought up Tubi because you made me remember two other movies that I watched on Tubi this past week. And they're the summer sex comedies. One was Hard Bodies, and the other was Private Resort with Johnny Depp. Um,
So many of those kinds of things. I'm thinking of Private
right.
School.
Yeah.
I've got a
Yeah.
bunch
Well,
of
there's a
those.
lot of those with private in there, or
Yeah.
summer, but yeah. But Wonderwall is pretty interesting. A fun fact is that all the music that's in the movie is not on the soundtrack.
Hmm.
So it's completely different music
Oh, I didn't
than
know
what
that.
he released on the soundtrack. Yeah.
That's probably a good thing because a lot of the music in the movie
Right.
wasn't great. Some of it was
Yeah.
really good, and some of it was just sort of
Right.
noise. Even it sounded like two different recordings just overlapped, and there you go. There's some music.
Right.
It was very bizarre. But and that's everything I think I've seen this week. But yeah,
All
go to
right.
Tubi and check out Wonderwall. It's there for
Yeah.
free.
I'll do that right after
Tubi's
the show.
fantastic.
No.
Tubi's fantastic.
Um, in the San Francisco Bay Area in the late '60s, we used to have a program called Creature Features. It was really
Yes.
cool. We had Creature Features also, not the
Yeah.
same one as you did.
Michigan too.
It was a great
We had
title,
it
Creature
where
Features.
yeah, though it was funny because when they was on here in Michigan, they would use that middle section of Whole Lot of Love where it's all the weird sound
Oh
effects.
yeah,
Um, and that would be part of its the the credits music. And I
it
was
was.
always petrified by that.
We had Creature Features too, New York area. David, was yours Bob Watkins, the host? I mean, I remember. I think his name was Bob Watkins. But he looked like a kind of a geek kind of guy. Uh, I heard they tricked George C. Scott to talk the way he did in Patton.
Mm.
Okay. Apocalypse Now or Full Metal Jacket? I vote Apocalypse, he says.
Um, Interesting because I would pick the first half of Full Metal Jacket and then the second half of Apocalypse Now. Um, I really love that first hour of Full Metal Jacket.
Do you remember the Ghoul who came on late night
A
in
little,
Detroit?
yeah, I was alive when he was doing that, but it was a little bit before my time. But I do know of the Ghoul, yes.
The Ghoul. In 1980, I met Christopher Lee. That was spooky. He was a speaker at a small movie theater that was showing Hammer films. I'm surprised he actually would consent to talk about. I do not do horror films, and I'm he's one of those guys.
I
Looks,
am not Dracula.
yeah. And I got to meet him twice in 1999. He's much older, but I got to meet him twice that year. Um, yes, and James, I know you wrote this twice. I'm sorry I didn't get to it while the other guys were talking. But yeah, I know the exact moment you mean. I know these Universal movies like the back of my hand, The Wolfman. Edgar, I didn't know who it was. Edgar Buchanan tells Lon Chaney there's a werewolf in camp. Uh, it's a very small moment. I had no idea who it was. Um, I think this is Carlos either his best role or one of his very best roles, the Body Snatcher from
Yeah.
1945. To me, it's the best of the Val Lewton movies, although there were a lot of them, But I love that movie.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I watch film noir on Turner. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, Sunday nights is every week they have a film noir. I wish I had it when I was in mom jail, but I don't have it anymore. So
Yeah. The movie I went to see in the movie theater, Das Boot, great movie, World War II story,
Yes,
German submarine commander and crew.
very intense film.
Do either one of you two guys have Thunderbolt and
Yep,
Lightfoot?
yep. Clint Eastwood and uh, why am I Jeff Bridges? Yes, I like it a lot. That was Michael Cimino's first film he directed. The guy that directed the Deer Hunter and Heaven's Gate.
I don't have it, but I think I saw it that it was on Tubi.
Yeah. I do not recall who approached George to do the soundtrack for Wonderwall, but it's a British production, so I'm sure
It
he was
wasn't.
more than
It
happy to
was.
do it. Mhm.
I was about to say wasn't it an Apple film, but I don't think it was. So
No, I don't think it was an Apple
know.
film.
I don't know.
Any of you seen the movie Sunrise? Sunrise.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
one of my
No,
favorite
yeah,
films.
yeah.
Sunrise.
I own it. Yeah, I've got it on Blu-ray.
Co-recipient of the first Best Picture because they had two different sort of categories. And
Right.
first Oscars 1927, that was one of them.
Yep.
I haven't seen Wings either.
Um.
Oh, Wings is great. I
Yeah.
didn't think I'd like
Wings.
Wings, and I finally saw it this year, and I was like, Wings
Mhm.
is really good.
Very very brief appearance from Gary Cooper in that film.
Yep.
Sir Graves Ghastly.
Yeah,
Hello, Rocco. Thinking about getting a copy of The Last Waltz, the band.
I would. Yep, I would absolutely. just for the Van Morrison performance of Caravan. The whole thing
Well,
is great, though.
and you get to see inside.
Yeah.
What I forget the name of the club.
Oh,
Famous. Um,
yeah.
Not there anymore. But yeah, I mean, just for that, it's worth it. You see Ringo.
Yep.
Well,
Seen
that's why I
Ringo.
know of it. That's why I know of it.
That's the Beatles connection right there.
Yeah. I went
And
through that kind of basic training. That was in Full Metal Jacket when I joined the Army. Thank you
Yeah.
for your service. I hope you weren't like Private
Yes.
Pile.
Thank you. But but there's a lot of memorable moments in the Last Waltz.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
David
I always
Fogarty.
wonder what is Neil Diamond doing there. I can
Well,
never
I'll
figure
tell you
that
why. Because Robbie Robertson produced his most recent album.
Oh, okay.
That's why. That's
All
why.
right.
That's
Oh,
And
why
I'm like,
Neil's there. And then
why?
and the song he performs is from that album that Robbie produced.
Okay.
Dry
So
Your Eyes. Yeah, they're
why?
right.
thanks for filling me in on your opinion of Angry Red Planet. I have it in my to watch pile. I think I saw it on TV a long time ago and didn't think much happened in it. You know, a crew wear Italian leather loafers to space.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, Karloff and Price singing. Wow, I remember that. There's a yeah. I know the one you're talking about. Sitting in a car or something. You know, I mean, I've seen a lot of things like popping up. I'll talk about something in a minute, but you know, I see little things popped up. I watch skits like I saw, like being a horror fan, I saw the Red Skelton show where they had Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney Jr. together,
Hmm.
and I didn't even know it existed. Some of these things you see, and I'm like, he's doing like a mad. Lugosi's the mad scientist, of course, and Chaney's like a assistant, but he's got fangs and everything, like a wolf man. It's like amazing to me to see those things, you know,
Hmm.
like live and Lugosi like making a mistake. You know, I love stuff like that. They're laughing and stuff. So there we go. Loved Das Boot.
Yes.
I need to see it. I've never seen it. I own it. I've never watched it.
You
But
I Yeah, highly recommend it, Tim.
well, my problem is there's a lot of movies I own I've never watched because anything over 2 hours is a commitment of time. I don't have a lot of
And
time.
yeah, and then plus on top of that, it's subtitles, so you're also
Mhm.
reading the dialogue as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. That doesn't bother me, but just the time commitment. You know, last week I showed 4 or 5 movies I watched on Leading Men Volume One, and one I
Yeah.
didn't watch is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid because it's longer.
It's the longest of the batch.
That's the only reason, and I haven't gotten to watch
Mm,
it since. It's still on my list. It's still, it's just
right.
long.
Yes, I agree. Karloff did a great job narrating the Grinch. I
Yes.
agree with you.
Yes.
Speaking of Karloff, now it's my turn to show a couple of movies that I got that I ordered, and Tom made me aware. I think that this
Yeah.
one was coming out. It's Karloff. Funny, they give him like a Frankenstein look. He's not Frankenstein in it. It's called The Walking Dead. Nothing to do with the TV show. This is very interesting. I think directed by Michael Curtiz and
Yeah.
worth seeing. It's got
I
Edmund
might have to
Gwenn.
pick that up then. I'll pick
Yeah,
that up then if you recommend it.
I think so. It's not what you might expect. It's got
Mm,
Edmund Gwenn in here, Santa Claus, among other things, from Miracle on 34th Street, and Ricardo Cortez, Barton McLean, other
yeah.
people in
So
here.
when it says The Walking Dead, it's kind of almost like what they considered zombies back then, like I Walk with a
It's
Zombie,
about I
or
don't want to say too much of the story, but it's basically a
right.
group of gangsters trying to get away with something, and they find a fall guy. The fall guy
Mm,
is Karloff, and that's really the idea of
okay.
it. Then what happens after that? You can
I
almost
gotcha.
figure it out, maybe. I don't know,
Yeah, I
but
got you now. Yep.
but
Yep.
it's
I
done. It's
got you.
Michael Curtiz. I mean, it's done with panache. You know, it's got style to it.
Mm,
It's done really well, and it's a good restoration. I got to say, I really was happy with the job they did on it. Um, I also got the return of Doctor X
Mm.
There's a movie in the 30s called Doctor X. This has nothing to do with that. Well, actually, this is 39. This is also the 30s, but Humphrey Bogart is in there,
Yes, he is.
and he
Yeah.
plays, you might say, a vampire-like guy in here. It says,
Yeah.
I think it's considered his only horror movie, or
Mm.
close to a horror movie. So, another great job on it. It looks great. Let me see now.
The great thing about the Warner Archives is that the guy that's ahead that is the head of that company is a film junkie. So it's like the right person is running the show.
I'm glad
Thankfully.
to hear it
So yeah,
because I had I mean, going back to like 1997 or something. The guys that
yeah,
when DVD was first coming out and stuff, they didn't
yeah.
want to put anything out, even like the
Mm.
most classic, popular stuff. So, also, the one movie, I think I only watched one movie. I mean, I tried watching a little bit of Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte with Betty Davis.
Right.
I didn't get through the whole thing. I was on Turner.
Great theme song.
Yeah, you like the theme song?
Oh
Are you
God.
kidding? I don't know. I
I'm
don't know.
kidding. I'm kidding. Betty Davis was just so powerful that she insisted on singing, and nobody was had guts enough to tell her that she couldn't sing and stop. So
Did you
they
ever
just
hear
let
this?
her.
The record that she put out for
Oh,
whatever happened to
oh,
Baby Jane?
oh, yeah, she sings "Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte." I have that. I have a couple Betty
Yeah,
Davis
yeah.
records, and they're awful.
It's hysterical. You could, if you want to get a good laugh, you got to look up, Betty Davis singing "Whatever Happened to
Yeah,
Baby Jane." It's,
yeah.
it's
And
on
"Hush
YouTube.
Hush
She
Sweet Charlotte." It's
does she have a Christmas record?
she
Don't know about
probably
that.
does some Christmas songs. You couldn't stop
Mm.
her singing, and she can't.
Uh, I did a full video on this Donovan's Brain. Now this is an old. See, this is what I mean. This is an old movie that I had sitting here on DVD, regular DVD, for a long time, and I never got it on. Uh,
Mm.
this is a movie that always popped up on Creature Features and stuff. As a kid, I didn't want to watch it because it was just about a brain. I wanted a
Mhm.
monster running around town. But anyway, it's got Nancy Davis in here, who would become Nancy
Mhm.
Reagan, or maybe she was Nancy Reagan at that time, and Lou Ayres. And it's the second film version of a film I talked about last week called The Lady and the Monster. The book is called Donovan's Brain. That's the name of the novel. They made the first
Mhm.
movie, The Lady and the Monster. I liked it. This one I like too. Don't know. I think they're kind of the same to me. I don't know if I have a preference. The first one, Lady and the Monster, is more horror. This one's more science fictiony. Drama,
Yeah,
science fiction
you
stuff.
just reminded me, Joe. I watched one other movie, and it was Donovan's Brain.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. I'm totally serious. I
I
watched
think Gene Evans
Donovan's
is pretty
Brain.
good. Uh, well, I think it's a good thing we can both talk about the same movie. I thought
Yeah, no, it was good. Not what I expected, but it was you know
yeah,
it
no,
was good. It was good. It was good. I'm glad I watched it.
okay, and there you go. And it's about a brain scientists are trying to keep brains alive after somebody dies, and of course, and
Yeah, yeah,
wind up getting possessed by the brain
yeah,
to do
yeah.
this and
Don't
that.
do that. Any of you scientists out there, don't do that. It doesn't work out well.
Yeah. Uh, so I have strong opinions on CGI. But can I say first, for me, I'm quick to say I don't like CGI, but it's not really fair. It's probably fair to say I don't like it if it's overused or if it's used. My pet peeve is when you didn't really need it. Like a good example for me is the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith at the end when the whatever you want to call the infected people or whatever come, they're CGI cartoon characters. I call them cartoons sarcastically. You have makeup on people. Whatever happened to that? But anyway, so I hate stuff like that. Another example, I remember when I saw, I think it was Tobey Maguire, the first Spider-Man movie. Yeah, in the theater, I liked him swinging around. I could understand why you could use CGI having the character swinging around on the web through the tall buildings and everything. But there was a scene where he was on the street fighting an enemy or something. Not even been just a street thug. Not even like a super villain. And it was all like the flipping around. It's all like you could tell it's like artificial. It's not really a fight. Whatever
Yeah.
happened to fighting? And
Well, you
you
make
can
it.
use a
It's
stunt man because he's got a
yeah.
costume on.
Right. You make a good point about the I Am Legend. You could so tell that was CGI. It was terrible. And if it looks good, it works. I mean, if you can
Yeah,
so tell bad CGI in films.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah, I
Um,
example
don't.
of bad CGI.
yeah, yeah,
I don't like when they do things that aren't possible. You know what I mean? When okay, this can't really happen, so we'll do it CGI. Well, if it can't happen, it can't happen. You know, so just do something else. I like it when you don't even realize it. Like
yeah.
was a film
Right.
probably 20 years ago or whatever. Moulin Rouge. Anybody ever seen
Yeah.
Moulin Rouge?
Great. I love
Moulin
it. I
Rouge
love it.
is full of CGI, but you'd never know it. And that's
Mm.
a good use of CGI. You'd never know how much CGI is in this movie. It's everywhere,
Well,
but you never.
Gladiator's another thing too. A lot of the wide shots when you see a lot of people in the stands, during the big fighting sequences. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't tell that that's CGI. So there is good CGI and there's shit CGI.
yeah. See, that's the thing. I
Unfortunately.
agree. I just don't like. I guess that's mostly on actors. I don't like it when actors are
Mm.
CGI. Although sometimes I'm thinking, I remember I could talk about this forever. I remember watching. I think it's Attack of the Clones. Back to Christopher
Yeah,
Lee. I think he
yeah.
had like a fight, and
He
he
a
had like
fight
his head on
in
there.
the CGI was imposed onto someone else's body, and you can tell, you can really tell.
And but there's one thing, an example where I couldn't tell, and I didn't know until I watched the making of, and I think it was the Pierce Brosnan Bond film. I think it was Tomorrow Never Dies. There's a
Yeah.
helicopter sequence where they're trapped in an alley or something, and a helicopter swoops down on them, and the blades are
Mm.
going around, and the helicopter's like closing in through this alley. And I found out later there were no blades on it. Oh, I don't know how they flew it or whatever. Whatever they did, there were no blades. How did you fly it?
Probably with a
Anyway,
crane. They
whatever they did,
probably hung. Yeah.
because it could
Yeah,
be dangerous, right? So later
Yeah.
on, they put the blades in there, and you would never know that,
Right.
just
Yeah.
whooshing around.
Another example of bad CGI is when Steven Spielberg went in and took out the rifles and replaced them with walkie-talkies in ET. I mean, it's amazing that you could do something like that, but it's still it still sucks, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, and making part of redoing ET and making part of him a digital guy. That
Right.
no. It was a
Right.
guy in a suit and a puppet, and
Yeah,
that's why you should see it.
another example is when when Lucas re-released Star Wars and he put the Jabba the Hutt sequence back in because originally that Jabba the Hutt was performed by a human. So then he went back and superimposed a Jabba the Hutt, which who we know on Return of the Jedi, and then just put that over the character, and you can tell it was really bad too. I mean, it was
Yeah.
terrible.
Well, Star Wars again, making Yoda, going
Yeah.
back and making Yoda
Yes.
CGI. No,
Right.
But you
no.
see
And
that
that's yeah, good point because when he did the first one, the why am I the first one of the prequels, originally Yoda was a puppet. But
Yeah,
when they released it on Blu-ray or DVD, they went back to digital, and I'm just like, why? I mean, you already had it perfect. You didn't have to,
well,
you know.
now I'll talk to a different example about that when
Yeah.
I'll go backwards where I appreciated something later rather than earlier. Now I was
Mm.
never a big Star Wars guy, so I wound up. How did I do it? I think I said Yoda in the later
Mhm.
films. I saw the CG Yoda, I guess,
Right.
and then I went back and watched. Was it in Empire Strikes Back or was it in uh, the third one?
Yeah. Return of the Jedi. Both of them are
Because
puppets.
and then I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, it's a puppet. Oh, it looks so bad. It's on his
Mm.
carrying on his back. He's running or something."
Right.
I'm like, "It looks so obviously it's a puppet." And I'm like, "Did I say that? Did I me the purist? So I mean but that's what I mean. Sometimes it can happen either way.
He,
For me.
he
Yeah.
should be a
Yep.
puppet. But I think sometimes you can go back and it's okay. Like I don't know if there's any Star Trek fans out there, but
Mm,
they've worked on the effects of all three seasons of
right.
Star Trek,
Seasons. Yeah.
and
Right.
I definitely prefer those versions. They didn't change. They just changed some backgrounds. They changed some planets.
Yes.
They changed the little monitors on the bridge, and it just looks better now. So
Yeah.
I can't. I don't have a qualm with
Yeah,
that.
Richard James, a lot of funny things have been going on with you lately. That's all I'm going to say. But anyhow, in comments and things, like for example, best CGI was I Am Legend. Did Tim like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
Did
Uh,
anybody?
what, what did Tom Hyundai think of Lion King's directed movie Across the Universe, etc., etc.? Any
If you're
answer?
talking about the Beatles related I Am Across the Universe film, I didn't like it one bit.
And I, of all people, all I remember is that I like some of the songs, and I can't remember which ones. But that's when I first saw it. So.
Mm,
I've never seen it. The only thing I've ever seen is MTV used to show Bono singing "I Am the Walrus" from time to time. That's the only thing I've ever
mm.
seen, and it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was all right.
And hello, Penny Lane.
Penny Lane.
When AI fully comes out, they won't be making movies. You can make your own. All right, let's inject a little Beatles into this. All right, I don't like AI, man. Maybe you heard about this or heard it. Um, got together with Mikey Arugula today, and
Mm-hmm.
he had a video of supposedly, the Beatles in the Get Back sessions, Let It Be, Get Back, doing "And Your Bird Can Sing." Did you hear
Mm.
this? And it sounds like they're
No.
really doing it, like because
Mm,
the thing where he said the guy plays the guitar himself, the instruments himself, sings the way he wants to sing it, the exact way, and then plugs
mm.
in, for John and Paul's or whoever's voice. And I would think it was if you said this was an undiscovered Get Back thing of them doing jamming to that,
Yeah.
and Your Bird Can Sing, I'd believe it. And they did also All My Loving it's
Mm.
supposedly, you know, in the studio for the Get Back period at 69. And it sounded too damn good. And I'm like, that bothers me. He goes, why not? It's all in fun. And it says AI on the video, parentheses AI. But
Well, that's when I don't mind that if they do that. I mean, as long as they say it's not real or this is done by AI, just as long as the people
Oh,
know, that it's
well, for
not a
that for
real
that
thing.
source, for that
Yeah.
YouTube source, if you're watching that
Yeah.
video, you'll see it. But somewhere it'll wind up somewhere
Yeah.
yeah,
else 10
yeah.
years from now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's this guy who got his channel taken down. There was a guy that was really good. He was from Liverpool, and he kind of sounded like McCartney and Lennon combined anyway when
Mm.
he sang, and he was doing sometimes up to three a day, and the only ones I ever thought were good. In fact, I downloaded one of them, and it's going to be on my New Year's podcast. He did a version of John and Paul doing Crippled Inside, and it's
Hmm.
fantastic.
Well, that's the thing, I mean, not that I don't. If it sounds good, I mean, I'm like, hey, this is amazing. But I'm just worried. I don't know
Yeah.
why I worry about
Well, yeah,
people.
no, I don't like the concept of it at all, but I can't. I got to give it to the guy. And Paul even talks in it a little bit, and you'd swear it's McCartney in 1971 talking. I mean, it's like holy cow.
I love that beautiful theme song, "Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh, it's
The only
great.
thing, yeah. The only thing I got to say about that is
What's that?
I'll quote William Shatner in Saturday Night Live as he's at a Star Trek
No.
convention, and he goes, "Get a life."
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there need to get a life. Trust me on that one.
Yes.
Believe me. Tim, I recently watched your old video about the Beatles and Hamburg. Very good.
I don't really remember it, to be
It's
honest.
old.
But I think I had a point that about it changing like sort of music, And I think that
Mm.
was the point, but I don't really even remember what it was. But no, it's probably one of my better videos, to be honest. So thank you.
Hello, Jeff. A new doc in the UK. I want to see the life and death of Christopher Lee. I never heard of this. Oh, interesting. Hello, Oliver. Speaking of Karloff, have you seen Corridors of Blood? I feel like I did talked about that already last time. But yeah, I know it and I own it. And don't let the title is very misleading. It's black and white, 1958. It's not bloody. It's
Mm.
Christopher Lee. A young Christopher Lee acting with Karloff. So that's what it's noteworthy for, because you got the two actors, Karloff and Lee together, which is rare.
Is that
And
available? Is that available to buy?
it was. I don't know if it
I'll have
still
to look it up.
is. Look up. It's an interesting story about. See, I'm not really good at this. It's either the when did they discover anesthesia? I mean, it's before the discovery of anesthesia,
Oh,
and
right.
Karloff is a doctor trying to perform surgery without pain, and that's the idea of it. And then he gets blackmailed, and that's the idea of it. It's not really so much a horror movie. I mean, of course, it's got horror elements in it, but there you go. How about Home Alone 2?
How about it?
It
Oh,
exists.
you know what? Yeah. Actually, Criterion released a box set
Yeah, I have that.
on DVD long ago that has Quarters of
Yeah,
Blood in it.
right. That's where I got it
Yeah.
from. The
Yeah.
Haunted Strangler is
I
also in there,
forgot, yeah.
and
First
that's
Man
really
into Space, The
yeah,
Atomic Submarine. I completely forgot all about that.
the two Karloff films are among his best, especially from that later period
Yeah.
in his career. He's like 70 or something like that in it, but
Yeah.
he's really good in it, in both of them.
Cool.
Let's see. Uh, Empire Strikes Empire Strikes Back is hard to beat. That's probably I'm not a Star Wars guy,
Sure
but that's
is.
probably my favorite of the ones that I've seen most of them.
Yeah.
Favorite adapted book to film? Well, I don't know. I mean, I could go either.
The for yeah. The Road for me, I thought The Road was a fantastic book, and they did a great job with the film. And another one would be A Clockwork Orange. Really true to the book. I mean, I know there's one chapter in the book that they didn't film, but didn't need it. So um, I would love to say Lolita, but you can't.
I'm gonna say The Princess Bride, because Rob Reiner
Oh,
literally filmed the damn book. He literally
well, and
started on page
plus,
one and he
yeah,
filmed the
plus, well, the
book.
writer of the book wrote the screenplay too, so
Well, yeah, yeah,
that helps.
and I
Yeah.
mean that I read the book years after the movie came out, and I was just stunned
Mm,
that everything is in there. Everything you think, and this book was like written in the early '60s, and
mm,
you wouldn't think that in a book in the early '60s they would be calling things by initials, the ROUSs, but no, they're in
right.
there. Everything is in there. It's like
Mm.
holy cow. So that's my Princess Bride.
There must be like I mean it doesn't mean you have to have read the books, because because I'll do books that I have read. I mean,
Right.
I don't like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but I like the movie Frankenstein. Uh, I don't care for Pierre Boulle's Planet of the Apes, or Monkey Planet, I think it's called. I like the movie
Mm,
Planet of the Apes better. Um, the book of The Exorcist might be better to me than the movie. That's one,
mm,
and I think the Jaws is a better movie than book. But it's a good book too, but
got it.
I think I like the movie a little better. And then lastly, what was the other one I was gonna say? Oh, geez, I drew a blank on it. I had it. Oh, Salem's Lot. I liked the book. Didn't like the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Ringo Starr singing "She's Electric" by Oasis. Did Karloff not only narrate The Grinch? Well, yeah, but you see him talk a couple of times, and it's Karloff's voice, I think.
Right.
Uh, I'm a fan of hello, Mike. I'm a fan of Dark City, Charlton Heston's first movie in
Yeah.
1850.
No, but this one is really good. Donald Sutherland. It was a smaller movie. It was really good sci-fi. Great special effects in this one. I really do like Dark City. It's really good. Really good.
Okay.
Pretty good. Yeah, I don't have a problem saying it. I'm just saying what they were able to translate, into film back in the early '60s is a lot different than what's in the book. But they did, but Stanley Kubrick did do a great job.
We're caught up. We
Uh,
are caught up for the moment.
well, James,
So,
the last question at the bottom from James.
oh no, I'm
Um,
not caught up. Okay,
mm,
sorry.
no, so 20th Century Fox owns, or 20th Century Fox released Cocoon, and Disney now owns all that property. So you're gonna have to ask Disney why they haven't released that film yet.
Because they don't care about physical media. I know
They
somebody
don't
else
care.
is doing it for them and blah blah, but they don't care about it.
Yeah.
So that
Well, they really got to change their tune with that.
they don't
I
give a
hope,
crap.
Yes.
but I don't know. I don't.
Uh,
I think I know
Deadly
Diddley Prey.
Prey. That sound. Oh no, I'm thinking of the Naked Prey. No, I don't think
Yeah,
I've seen Deadly Prey.
it doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah. I'll have to look that up.
Yes. Uh, I've never read the book Ben Hur, but I love the 1959 movie.
Yeah.
Going back to that,
Mm. Mm.
so come on, folks, put on your thinking caps. Need some more questions and comments. Oh, let's talk a little about this. I was trying to watch
Mm.
Midas Man, the Brian Epstein movie, on Prime. Apparently, it's not available. No, it's not available in the
Not
U.S.
in the U.S.
Oh,
Right.
oh, I can talk about that. I've seen that.
You've seen the whole thing?
I forgot. I forgot. I've seen Midas Man and I saw the May Pang
How
movie as
could you
well
forget that? Well, hold on. We'll talk
Mm.
the
about
same
it.
night.
Before you do, let me say I can't talk about the movie, but I've seen a lot of clips. I do not like any of these clips that I'm seeing at all. They got the things wrong. I don't like.
It was just it was just okay. It wasn't bad. There's no way you could say it's bad. And if you didn't know much about Brian Epstein and wanted to learn some things about Brian Epstein, it's not a bad place to start. They didn't few things are out of order like they always are in these things, but nothing horrific like the Queen movie or anything like that. It's he
How did
did a
you
good
see it?
job as Brian. Most of the Beatles were okay. The guy that played Lennon was a tiny little guy,
He's
which
too
doesn't
short.
really work.
A little vertically challenged there, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah, but
ridiculous.
but
Poor
I mean,
John.
they're little quibbles. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't
Right.
fantastic. I'm glad I saw it, and I also saw the May Pang documentary.
And what
Mm.
did you think of
Finally,
the May
I
Pang
enjoy,
documentary, which I liked?
I liked it. I
yep.
liked it. I really want to believe her. I really felt sorry for her, but I
Me too.
think she made a huge mistake in only having one other person actually in the film besides herself, and that person is totally on her side, and she had
Yes.
nobody that maybe could have a different opinion that you might think would have a different opinion in the movie, and that to me it was a mistake. There's still plenty of people around that could have been interviewed for that
I
film.
didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't realize how close those two were.
Yeah, yeah,
And it obviously it's pretty damn close if he's there at the end.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
Giving
and
her
that
a
old
big hug.
story
You
about
know.
him
th-
and his
Yeah.
that
little
kind of
thing.
ruins
I'm
it
so
for me
tired
in a
of it.
way.
Yeah.
Like I said, it takes away some of her credibility. There are enough
Mm.
people alive that were around at the time that they could have gotten an interview with, and maybe they would have been positive. I'm not even saying maybe they would have been on her side. I don't know, but to have them there one way or the other would have just given her more credibility. That's
Yeah,
my
well,
only problem with it. I thought
I
it
have
was
my
very
doubts
well done.
too.
Liked it a lot better than I liked the Brian Epstein film.
Yeah, well, I did like the documentary. Yeah, there's good footage in it too. I mean, the May
Yeah,
Pang thing. Yeah, I
yeah,
did feel sorry for. Really, I saw it like I think maybe 3 times with different people. I went to
and
the
and
theater.
and
You know,
and considering,
but
she's just a person. I know she's done public things and blah blah blah, but I thought she did an excellent job narrating it, considering that's not what she does.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
true. She did do a good job.
that's not she's not a professional narrator, and yet
I
she was really good doing it. That was
I
She did
take
a really good
exception
job.
to one narration she did when she put her opinion in and said talking about Yoko, and then
Mhm.
said at one point she just have to find some other way to manipulate him. And she says that at one point of the narration, and I
Yeah,
remember reading in a newspaper. And for a while, I had it on my phone where she's doing an interview in print, and she says, I'm not saying she tried to manipulate him. She'd say in the
yeah,
freaking movie, you say it.
Mm.
Don't give
yeah.
me that. But anyway, but as far one thing I wanted to say about Midas Man, and like I said, I haven't seen it, but I mean, there's one scene that drove me nuts. A little scene where Brian's talking about what happened in the Philippines, I think, and he's walking, talking to the camera and the audience, and talking, and they get handed him drinks while he's talking, and then he's
Mhm.
walking. I'm like, I don't like that style at all. Like,
Well, I don't like the style either, but that the whole movie is done in that style. Every once in a while, they break the fourth wall, and Brian talks to the
that's what
camera
they
for a
call it. I can
minute
remember that
to
when I
fill
used to
you
Yeah,
watch
the
the
in,
fourth
movie.
wall.
rather than to
Mm.
they let you know that time passed, and they're letting you know that certain things happen that they're not going to show in the film. So he's telling you, and
Yeah.
it's a way of doing it. Like I said, it wasn't. I didn't think it was an amazing movie, but it was okay. It wasn't terrible or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but Peter Sellers is fantastic in that film. Absolutely.
The pronunciation. Well, I didn't. I don't. I didn't jump on Tim, and I didn't jump on other people. People got different opinions of that. In the movie, he says Brian Epstein.
Yeah.
Brian never called himself Epstein. It's always
Yes.
Epstein.
No,
Mm.
I addressed that. I was watching it with a couple other people, and I addressed that almost immediately. That Brian loved correcting people on how to pronounce his
Mm.
name.
Yeah.
They gloss over that. But one thing I liked at the beginning, towards the very beginning of the movie, Brian walks into, goes downstairs at the cavern, and you see a pretty girl take his coat and hat, and I'm like, that's so black. And it turned out it
Mhm.
was so black. And McCartney on stage at when he finds out it's Brian Epstein goes, you should go talk to Scylla too. She's a really good singer. I like that.
Mm.
I've heard people say this before. It's an opinion. Yeah, she's too attractive for the Cilla Black. I don't know. I don't know. No, no, there is no authentic Beatles music in the film.
No,
No,
no. But there's authentic other music, which
and I don't
kind of
need there to be,
I
to tell
think
you the
it
truth.
should have.
What's
I think
authentic?
that they should have had all of it covers. You know what I mean. If you're gonna have the Beatles not be the Beatles, then you should have had
Right.
everything be everything. It points it out more.
Yeah.
Did you like the guy
This
who's
was really
Harry
good.
Nilsson? I
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
remember even.
Yeah. That's on Amazon Prime. You can watch that on Amazon Prime, or at least that's where I saw it. It is available
I
on
saw it
DVD and
on
Blu-ray.
Tubi. I saw it
Yeah.
somewhere, or maybe
Yeah. No,
Pluto.
it
I
is
saw
good.
it somewhere.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. It's very sad, of
Yeah.
course.
It
I
is
mean,
sad.
the
Yeah. Ringo,
end.
I think Ringo does is one of the talking heads on that.
Yeah, it's very sad.
My feeling on this is that I take some of what he says true, some of it with a grain of salt. I think he was another of many opportunists. I don't believe everything in the book, um, uh, especially when he gets to talking about how after John was killed, he's like the only one that cares. Everybody else was so cold and indifferent about it. He was devastated. I don't, I don't believe that at all. He's that bothered me a lot. And you know, the guy is a thief, so who did in fact take his stuff. So I don't really know what I think of it overall. I was talking about Tony Sheridan. Is Tony Sheridan? No, he's not alive.
Um, yeah, he
But
did. He did. I know someone said, "Why didn't they have him in the anthology?" But he did appear in the Complete Beatles.
yeah, that and $1 million will get you $1 million. No, no, it's
And
actually pretty. It's pretty good.
he he did at least one episode of Scott Muni's Ticket to Ride. 'Cause I
Oh,
have it. I
Mm.
have it on vinyl. Then the actual, the radio station would have played.
I didn't think that was anywhere near as good as people told me that was. I was disappointed with the movie. Maybe I need to see it again, but I didn't think that was anywhere as good as, say, like Strangelove or Lolita, or even the what's the one, being there.
I've never seen it, but people have always told me it's great too, and
Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen it.
okay. Did you check out the Pretty Wildflowers documentary?
No,
I think so, but it might have been a while ago.
I have not. But I saw. I'm assuming that's a Petty documentary.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
because I vaguely remember, but I have seen that like 3+ hour documentary they did on him a bunch of years before he died, and that's excellent. That's exhaustive. I don't know how much more you could do on Tom Petty. It's like 3.5 hours thing. Um,
Yeah. No, if that's the one, if that's the name of it, then yes, I did see it, and I'm glad that all the past and current members of the band were in that. I mean, I remember the drummer talking about how pissed off he was during the whole Full Moon Fever, or the album leading up to that. I think because there was no creative process then; everything was what Tom Petty and Jeff Lynne wanted. So I'm glad that people were able to speak freely about that. Just like the Eagles documentary, everybody was speaking freely. Every member was speaking freely in that one. That one was really good too.
Not movie related. Just wanted to let you
mm,
know that Bob Dylan visited McCartney's childhood home last
Mhm.
Sunday. That's
All
nice.
right. Yeah.
that's nice.
Mystified.
I wasn't mystified. Maybe I was just more confused than anything. I got I got the gist of it, but there was, I think, the execution of the film was lacking. So, oh well. First one is still great though.
Hi, Eric.
Oh,
Yeah.
Holly Perry, what's up? Raise the Titanic. Is it one of the worst
one of the
films you?
worst.
I don't know, but
I
it's
haven't
on a
seen
record.
that one.
It's
Was
not
I
a
that a
haven't
made for
either.
T? Was that a made for TV film? I seem to kind of remember watching some of it on TV, so I didn't know if it was a made for TV film or not.
I mean, I know a little bit about it because I've seen a couple documentaries about Titanic, and they talk about it
Hmm.
because how wrong they got it. Because
Oh,
when it was made before they actually found the
she found it.
Titanic.
Yeah.
So they raise it
Okay.
up in
Yeah.
one piece, and it's not in one
Right.
piece,
Yeah.
and so yeah, they talk
Right.
about how wrong it was, but that's all I know.
Cruz just said it would be cheaper to lower the. That's hilarious.
You think I like the
You
Hateful
think?
Eight? How do you know? Oh, nobody knows what I like. But
I loved it.
I think Joe would like the Hateful Eight whenever he feels like he want. I'm not going to be that guy that pushes it on him when he's
he was
ready
trying to
to.
do that today
Yeah,
again. I forget
Yeah.
what he was trying to.
Yeah.
Mike,
yeah.
yeah, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
And he was
When
trying to
he's
push it.
yeah. When Joe's ready to watch it, he'll watch it, and he is a Quentin Tarantino fan, so
Yeah, oh, I got to see it because I like Tarantino. So
yeah,
that's something that I will get around to because I like Tarantino. So I have
right,
somewhat of a desire to see it. I own it. It's in my Blu-ray shelf.
right. I didn't
That's
think that was a good film, to be honest with you. I have seen that one. Wasn't that with Barbara Stanwyck?
yeah, it's okay.
Um,
Yeah, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
um
Uh,
what's his
yeah, I
name?
know who you're talking about. Yeah, wasn't that not David
Robert
Nevin?
Wagner, I think,
Uh,
is one of his first
mm,
films.
mm.
Harry Webb quote: "I think you're looking more forward to it than I am. You can't fool me." Let's see. As Eddie Murphy said, "Beware of any movie with a Roman numeral next to it." Well, I don't know about that.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where I remember watching it was on TV. So
Yeah,
I'm curious if it was a made-for-TV film.
I probably was, but
Actually, I'm going to go on the most reliable website there is, Wikipedia, and find out.
oh, yeah, there you go. That's very nothing's ever been wrong there.
No. It's a Rise of 1980 adventure film produced by Sir Lou Grade, who used to own the Beatles music.
Yep.
How do you feel about Interstellar?
I think it's brilliant.
I mean,
Um, yeah, I like Interstellar. Now, I don't think it's one of Christopher Nolan's best movies, but I think it's up there.
Favorite disaster film? Poseidon Adventure for me.
I don't know.
I got a
Superman.
chance. I got a chance to see Earthquake in the movie theater this month, which I've
Mm,
never seen in the movie theater. But it's not a great movie,
right.
but I should.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I
Tony
know it's not
Tuna.
the Swarm.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Right.
I got the Swarm
So,
here in my pile,
I
Tim.
know what it's not.
Italian
yeah.
Inferno didn't do it for me. I don't know why.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
I
It,
would think I would have loved it. I don't know why I didn't.
mine
Something
might
about it.
be Poseidon Adventure too. I mean, I've never seen that many disaster movies to know. You know.
Mm,
I saw this in the movie theater. My reaction to it was that I was cynical. I just said I just thought the two lead young stars did not make me feel like they were of that time. They seemed too modern to me, but I can't remember much. There was some emotional stuff at the
hmm
at the end and everything, but I never wanted to see it again.
I've still purposely never seen it.
Yeah,
mm.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but the ship sank.
Oh,
Joe
oh
don't want to
no!
spoil the movie, so he'll go.
Mm. Grease 2. Oh, what's that? Grease 2 is a what?
Oh, it's one of the worst sequels
Uh,
of all time. Just like Staying Alive is one of the worst sequels of
natural
all time.
disaster movie. Well,
Yeah.
I've heard Grease 3 is worse than Grease 2.
There's a Grease 3?
Yes.
Yeah, but that was on Paramount Plus though.
Oh, no thanks.
Uh,
I don't even like
I think
Grease,
they
so
Me either.
yeah. Yeah.
Olivia, I know Olivia. Too much makeup on
yeah.
at
Yeah.
the end. For me,
Yeah.
anyway.
Tell me about it,
I
stud.
don't.
She's
I
more.
don't.
She's more. She looks good even naturally.
Oh yeah.
Oh well. I never saw Earthquake and Sense Around. No,
I've
I
never
could have. I
even
would have been
seen
12, but I just happened to see that in the movies. But
All
I don't know what
right.
Body Heat is all about. So, Tom,
Oh,
you got.
Body Heat is Hurt, John Hurt.
Yeah, I just don't know
William. No, I'm
what.
sorry, William Hurt.
But I
William
don't know.
Hurt
I
it.
don't
and
know what it's doing
yeah.
here. Like why it's
Oh,
mentioned
Yeah.
is what I mean.
William Hurt and Kath was it damn it, forgetting her name. She
I
was
know the
in
one you mean.
Romancing the Stone.
I know the
Romancing the
one you
Stone.
mean.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! I know.
Yeah.
I know
Kathleen
her.
Turner.
Yeah.
Kathleen Turner. There you go.
She looks
Yep.
the
Yeah.
best in The Man with Two Brains.
I,
Well, she looks.
I always when I can't ever think of her name, and I have to go back to High
Uh,
Fidelity when Jack Black's band name's Kathleen
yeah.
Turner Overdrive, and that gives it to me.
Yeah.
So Grease in the theater during COVID, and it rocked.
All right.
So Earthquake, Midway, and Towering Inferno in Sense Around. I didn't know they had. Oh well, yeah, maybe they do. Towering Inferno wasn't censored around.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, she's amazing looking, and the man with two brains. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, you can say that too
Well,
often if you ask me. I see we got about time to quit. I think it was about time to quit because Tom's got to be
yeah,
going to another movie actually.
yeah.
So,
Yes, looking forward to this
uh,
one.
thanks, folks, for joining in here. We should be back next Thursday, hopefully, if everything goes smooth. Doing this again, I'll just keep an eye on my channel here, and I'll tell you what time it should be about 5:30 Eastern, but we don't know
Yeah,
exactly. So you can see that I'll put up the ad. So thanks, Tim Allen. Thank you, Tom. Uh, all right. Thanks, everybody. Well, we'll talk soon. I
yeah,
hate to be so abrupt, but let me know what you watch next time, everybody. Cheers.
yeah. Watch a movie.